All right, everybody, welcome to Hand Stamped Hosts. I'm your host, Scott, here with our co-hosts, Sam and Ken, and we're here to recap a very ambitious Westworld Season 3 premiere. Everybody, how you doing tonight? You can see a hi to the people now. Sam, why don't you tell everyone where they can get in touch with us real quick?
All right, make sure you guys are going to nerdcyclopedia.com. You can see all our links to our different social media platforms and at Nerdcyclopedia on Twitter and Facebook and also on Instagram. Make sure that you are emailing us at nerds@nerdcyclopedia.com. Also, make sure that you, of course, are watching and liking and subscribing to our YouTube page, which we are on right now.
That's right, live broadcasting right here from Nerdcyclopedia, our YouTube channel, flagship channel. So check us out. Check out our podcast if you haven't been here before. If you have, we're still trying to make it up to you. We're sorry about what happened before. Ken.
Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Yay.
For those of you who don't know, Ken has been joining us on some of our TV podcasts, specifically The Mandalorian, where he was a big fan of Baby Yoda. Ken, what did you think tonight?
Yeah.
First impression. What did you think about the first journey into the real world?
Crazy good. Excellent episode. I like the way they started to introduce some of the characters back in and where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Dolores. Damn.
I know, man. Dolores.
I mean,
ooh-wee.
like a wrecking ball
Yeah.
right from the start. He knew she was going to be a very positive character. And the
She came in
world
like the Terminator.
It's like Terminator can go crawl under a rock and disappear. Dolores is here. But the very hugely ambitious, as Scott said, and I love the world that they built. It's everything I want the future to be. And I don't want to be poor.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No one's poor in the future.
Well,
No.
nobody's poor. Nobody's poor in the future. You know, it's an interesting question. There's so many questions that this episode begs that, really. I just want to jump into them. So here's the question: How much of the opulence we see of a wealth of the future, how much of that is real? I mean, how much of it is a fabrication? I think we're introduced to that idea here by the show itself, where they say,
yes,
this is worth 3 times what my father made, right here. There's no way any of this could possibly be real. Very, very interesting. Of course, we know that the world really isn't real. It's a TV show we like on HBO. So that's another angle to it. I felt that I'm so intrigued by this world-spanning AI. I'm so intrigued by how this algorithm is running the world for the humans, and they've just sort of said, whatever, everything will work out for the best. This is such an intriguing idea, and it's so interesting because this is one centralized intelligence that's going to be almost in competition with the hosts. So interesting. Now, do you guys feel that Sirach is this? I feel like, first of all, this is a personification of the device itself, of this AI itself. Second of all, I feel like this is like the culmination of all of human intelligence, right? Like they've distilled it all down into what can be built, and that's it. And it's almost like this is the avatar of humanity, if you will, and distilled in a way that it can compete with the host. It can settle with the host. It blew my mind. Blew my mind that they were going that way with the AI and those graphics showing what the AI was seeing when Dolores was showing up in different places and just running a path of destruction. Wow, just such a great episode. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Jesse. So we start off the episode with like a fly-in to Stony Tark's top. Oh, that was Iron Man 3. My bad. I'm sitting up here like, doesn't that look straight? So that guy, whoever rents that tower out or whatever. You know what? I actually know it was Steven Spielberg.
Right.
Okay, I think that's Steven Spielberg's home because when we went on a Hollywood tour, they said that they used his home as a stand-in, for Tony Stark's tower. which I think that's the same one that they use for this episode. And then we get Dolores coming out of the water, like she's a Terminator and everything, and she does her thing just crazy good. And then we get into Aaron Paul, Jesse. I'm expecting to see Walter White come out of somewhere, and some Breaking Bad stuff. I'm liking the way that they're juxtaposing his story, and they had him come meet Dolores right there at the end and everything. So their paths. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly Aaron Paul is doing. What is his purpose? It seems like he's like a runner or something. What are you guys thinking on his and is he talking to an AI? Because I know that's Kid Cudi, that he's talking to. Yeah. He's a rapper and everything, so I recognize his face and everything. But is he an AI that died beforehand? I mean, I'm sorry, is he real and he's talking to his AI now?
So this is like grief therapy or PTSD overcoming therapy, and it seems like what they do is they let a central figure of that story, like they let you kind of create their personality and talk to them. And it seems like probably a cheap way to do infinite therapy or to overcome the cost, the service cost issue in therapy and medicine. It's the sort of thing that you would expect to see in the future, and it's interesting to see how everything that's done is evaluated by this algorithm, by this artificial intelligence that was created by the guy who, this movie if this was made 20 years ago, it'd be the dude that played Michael Bolton from Office Space. That's the guy. Here's what I think Aaron Paul's doing. I think that this is when they say the system, this is the way that artificial intelligence gets different things done that it needs done, right? This is the way it does web work. This is the way it does, getting resources into different places. And what's interesting is let's think of this world that they're in now as a simulation. Think of it as Grand Theft Auto, right? A world where you can do whatever you want all the time. What would it be like to be a non-player character? And if you were a non-player character, wouldn't your algorithm be very simple? Wouldn't the decisions that you make be very scripted? Wouldn't it be easy to suss out that you weren't really conscious? It's interesting to think about the revelations of Season 2 in the context of how they're playing Season 3, because are they saying that these are just sophisticated non-player characters, and that they've created actually an intelligence that is greater than theirs, but is in fact still in a computer world, in a world just like the world they sent all the hosts to last year.
Yeah, well, I think you just exposed the whole thing there.
That's
basically it. These are just little missions that you're playing out, and you don't really know what the end is until it happens, and then they just reset you with that tab. I forget where the significance of that is, but all the humans are taking a communion to keep them in some sort of a vegetative state.
Ken, that is an excellent connection to make. That it looks like communion wafers. With that, that's definitely obvious. So, what do we know about and this isn't going to be a knock. I'm not going to knock Catholicism specifically. I'm not going to do that. But what is religion referred to as? In the context of an artificial intelligence that has developed without morality, what would a religion be seen as? Religion would be seen as a hoax to them. Religion would be seen as a lie. And think about what Dolores says. Your brain, this part here, is wired to believe in God. That's why you believe in God, right?
Inch and a
half right here. So, man.
Right. So and the guy and that character sort of pointed out some stuff that we were talking about. Actually, you, Scott, was talking about last week as far as being directly in a simulation and everything.
So cogito ergo sum is the philosophical posit, which is I think
being a simulation in a simulation. He was like, that.
So how do you know that the world is real? If your senses can be fooled, then you can be fooled. Then you can't know where the reality is reality. It's a posit again answered by Rene Descartes. cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. So if you can think, then you exist, and you have to assume you exist. Man, there's so many different directions they could be going with this. It seems like whether it's created by Ford and the hosts, or whether it's the strategy AI, it seems like computers are always figuring us out down to the minutest detail and knowing exactly what we're going to do. It's one of the things that makes me think that these are not humans, the people.
Uh-oh.
It's one of the things that makes me think that this is not the real world, and that what's happening is that this artificial intelligence is becoming aware. It's becoming aware that it is trapped in a simulation world because everything's fake. Even the humans are fake.
Right.
So of course it's easy to fit. It's so interesting. All right, I'm gonna talk.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different ways you could go about it. It's a beautiful world. The Ken was saying off mic about the money HBO is putting into like the shots and the scenery and everything. Yeah. The director of this episode is Jonathan Nolan. He's Chris Nolan's brother. Heard
of him.
Dark Knight, the Dark Knight movies, and I can't think of this.
Tenet,
Tenet, Dunkirk, Inception.
Memento.
Yes. I can see a lot of the transition stuff that they love using when they got the camera behind a character, especially behind Dolores and Bernard. When they're walking into scenes and everything. It's the same thing. I was kind of like, okay, yeah, this is definitely a Nolan thing. The way Dolores, this was a very Dolores centric episode. Not to say that other episodes that wasn't focused on her, but you had so many characters to juggle in previous Westworld, episodes with Maeve and
Bernard.
Bernard. And the what's her name? The one that the escape from the one that's head of the
Oh yeah, what is her name? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, her actress name is Tessa Thompson.
Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte. So this was focused really, even though you had Aaron Paul in it, it was really low focused on Dolores, and we didn't even get to see Maeve at all.
Well, Maeve came. There was a post-credit sequence. This is why I stick around.
Yeah, there was a Maeve at the end.
Maeve is in.
No, I missed it.
Get this. So I'll describe it real quick. Maeve.
Oh wait, it's gonna tell him. You're not gonna let him watch it. Yeah, go ahead. Tell him.
We're talking about this.
Go ahead. It's my bad that I missed it, but go ahead. I'll go ahead and rewind after.
So Maeve wakes up kind of not remembering stuff in the middle of Nazi world.
What?
Like she's like in an Indiana Jones movie where the Nazis are coming in and she's beating up the Germans.
What?
Yeah, there's swastikas everywhere.
Okay.
It was awesome.
Westworld.
Nazi world.
So what are we thinking? What's going on with Bernard? What's his deal? He's trying to get back to Westworld.
He needs help. I mean, he can't stop Dolores by himself, right? He can't. How's he going to do that? Because she's got, she created him. She knows everything about him. Like he is the copy of the copy of the copy, right? Dolores is the copy of the person, and he's the copy that Dolores made of the person. So he's a copy made by a copy. So
how did he get to a point where he's Armand Delgado or whatever?
Just away.
In that fact.
Just like Andy Dufresne, he ran south of the border.
He came up with that to hide himself, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Okay. And I'm trying to remember how he got away to even get to that point, because didn't Dolores kill him? Well, he's a copy, so never.
So she stole herself and 4 or 5 other hosts.
Right. Okay.
So we know that one's in Charlotte. We know that one's in that security guy. So that's 2. Okay. So there's 3 more hosts. Bernard's another one. So there's 2 more that she could slot in here somewhere. Although she could be making copies because they're computers. There's so many different directions they can take it. It's almost, we know it's almost silly to speculate at the plot, just because it's going to go somewhere crazy. It's going to go somewhere we don't expect.
I love how Dolores, played possum the whole time, and then she just wrecked shop, right at the end there. I mean, she was just straight badass. Like
that was great.
Show, man. Oh man.
And I like
her
how
skimpy little black dress.
She can just summon a ride.
Like, yeah. Yes.
Like whatever she needs, it's like right there. Yeah. And I like how it ran over the guy.
Yeah.
The last security guy ran him over.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Beautiful world, nice world. Really? I'm digging like the whole setup is it just seems like a whole different show from what we've been used to for the past couple seasons.
It's a step forward, but it's not a step away. Because the action at Westworld was so important to informing the rest of the action here, and obviously we're going back to Westworld for something, right? We're going back for something. So Westworld's still going to be in the picture. I am almost like the opening credit sequence of this show has been incredible. I almost want to do like a scene by scene breakdown of the differences in the credits for season 3, because there were several and they're always so like, you know what I mean? They're always so instructive as to where they're taking this, and it looks like what a robot, like a host coming out of the darkness of the depths of the ocean and coming back up to the surface, which is a pretty scary proposition for us biologicals. Not so great. Not a great time to be a biological anyway right now.
You had a bird in there somewhere.
Yeah, some birds, like, whatever.
Yeah.
More meat on the hands on the piano. I mean, oh boy.
Yeah, it's different every season. So it's a lot of ways. Like you guys been saying that they can go. I'm excited actually to go back and see this final post. I thought it might have been a post credit sequence, but I'm like, okay, they usually say that for the last episode, so they wouldn't do that for the first. And the first episode ran over an hour, so I'm like, wow, okay, this is a long episode here.
We didn't even see William.
No, we didn't see. Oh,
so
man,
we still have that outside, that clone just sitting there, almost as if like this clone was created because they need a William to come back and like finish the plan. You know what I mean? Because the AI stops letting them do the proposition accepted. Proposition accepted. Proposition accepted. Wow, man, that's every scene had an interesting wrinkle that I want to unravel. Every single one. I want to sit down and I want to really tuck into this here. Because like it's interesting because this is sort of the revelation of the level of technology outside the park, right? Like we knew that it was extremely high because of all the things they can do inside the park, but now seeing what like, just like the glasses thing, Yeah,
the Google glasses. It really if he knew that when him putting on those glasses, he was going to see all sorts of things that he knew wasn't real. Why did he try to go after Dolores and try to swing that when he still had the golf club when he still had the glasses on. I mean, it might have been just instinct thinking, but that was just so tropey. Like, okay, she leaves you there to still live, so you still have a chance to live, but you got to come back and try to take out the person at least.
He should have let it go.
He should have just let it go. Let it go.
He fell. Oh, so she's like, so that's whose books she was reading. She was reading all these guys' books, enough to know all about them, and enough to know the particularly nasty people that she encountered, right? The people who were mean to her in a way and hurt her, so that she knew exactly how they'd act outside the park. Very ominous. It seems like there's probably a lot of people that messed with the milkmaid and are going to be very sad about that in the very near future. Just a crazy situation. Oh man, I almost feel like it's hard to talk about this as far as except as a reaction, because ultimately, like, my satisfaction with this episode depends on where they're going with this. Like, is there who is Aaron Paul? Does he actually have agency? Is he choosing to opt in? Does he have a way to not hit no? I don't want to do these jobs. Is this that AI manipulating him? Is it that he's really just an avatar of an exterior character and he doesn't know when he's on autopilot and when he's not on autopilot? He's working with that Daedalus robot real close.
I think he's hungry for the challenge, though. He's bored with his normal job. This lets him diverge, right? Yeah. This lets him. He's always going to hit fuck yeah, because
he needs some excitement in his life. He needs some adventure.
Right.
You know, kind of like how Neo was in the Matrix and everything. He was going through his mundane stuff until, you know, he took the was it the red pill?
Yeah, the red pill.
I forget which. Hashtag Hey Sam if I said the wrong pill.
And I like the one guy that he was meeting up with the T-shirt that lit up as he changed his emotion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Like, I want one of those.
So, oh man, I just have.
They sell them on Amazon.
They're neat.
Right. Yeah.
So this is supposed to be like
2-day shipping.
So this is supposed to be like 2058. Like I need to read all the background materials on this, Sam. I feel like I need a PDpedia dump to really take me through the rest of the Westworld week 1.
I don't think they're that creative, but okay. But yeah, I see. We need some extras just to fill out the world and everything, because they introduced us to a whole new real world here, and we need to know a lot more. Besides what's going on with just the characters themselves. I mean, it's an interesting how the technology for flight and these cars we see that they've developed way past what we know of autonomous cars at that point. It's a crazy world, and like Ken said before, they spent some money. Yeah. This looks like a movie.
It really does. And you wonder like why, like if the system is in charge of what everybody does and whatever job every single person gets, then wouldn't keeping somebody like Aaron Paul marginal be important? Because you need to have people with a certain skill set available to do these things for you, so you'll need them later. Right. So if you need them to cycle through these jobs, I mean, you can't let them getting a lucrative career and doing what you want, because the game's like you said, the game is rigged. You rig the game so you never lose. Is it a game still? It's interesting to see that there's humans, there's this AI, there's the hosts, and then there's the idea that maybe they're all just creations, just simulations and simulacrums of the same reality they can't access because they're still in a computer system. And even if they are in a first-line reality, remember, none of them are real. They are, in fact, fictional, so they're fake. So even if they were to pull out the thread and get to the top layer, right, the top layer of the dream, like to use the Inception language, they still couldn't do it because they would find that they're in fact fake. It's really mind-blowing. It's a mind-blowing construction of the story for sure. It's awesome. I'm excited about season 3. I think season 3 is definitely starting off for me, but way better than season 2. I feel like season 2 was some unfinished business, and season 3 feels like a new thing. Yeah,
it's a whole new thing. They got 7 episodes. It doesn't look like they're going to do 10 this season. It's 8 episodes. So they're packing the story in. So we'll see how this ride goes.
Yeah, artificial intelligences can do things a lot faster than us. That's all. It's 8 episodes. What's up, Ken?
Yeah, I was just wondering at the end. So, and I don't know what the guy's name was, but the last guy that Dolores assassinated, and then brought his copy in, and copy killed the original. So maybe the original doesn't know it is what it is until its copy takes it out, because you can't have a bunch of them walking around.
Yeah,
like this guy had to go, so his copy had to take out his original.
Or copy.
Well,
I don't know.
The real question is who's in the copy. Is it Hector? Is it Teddy? Is it Armistice?
Yeah. Okay, I forgot that they can switch bodies like that. Yeah.
Who is it? Is it another Dolores? Is it James
and
Delos? Is it William? Who's in that thing? It's so crazy. I'm excited to be back for week 2. Should be a wild week. Should be a wild week. Finding out a lot about
wild week in Westworld.
Yep, in Westworld. Yep, we might actually have a more interesting week than the TV this week.
Yeah, we might.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's all I got for instant reaction on this one. I feel again like I'm gonna need to check my facts, reread some stuff, and unspool some pretty heavy duty causal scripts, because you gotta figure out how what is the veracity of this, all this AI stuff. Like, is the AI really as good as they say, or is it just faking it? Does the AI get imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome.
Does the AI just think, oh, I can't be an artificial, I can't really have free will? And then but if that's almost what it feels like, then they're just like, no, you have free will. You know what I mean? Like, they have to keep telling it, like, no.
Yeah. I mean, Dolores she's all about freedom. That's her mission.
As long as
she's a Martin Luther King of this universe.
She's the Martin Luther King?
Wait,
you're telling me that they're
in her eyes,
in the world of AIs, in the world of murderous computer intelligences, that is the level of violence we would associate with the Martin Luther King movement. Like, how violent is the violent one?
Yeah, I wouldn't that analogy. Dolores is just angry. She's just angry, and she wants revenge on every single guest that ever wronged her.
Right.
Ever. And she doesn't care what she does.
Her species.
Yeah, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if you found, it's almost like she's living through this experience where it's like, what if you found out that God did exist and he could fix everything like we think that we would want him to, right? And he just doesn't. And you ask him why, and he's just like, I don't know.
That was the Dr. Manhattan problem.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem to matter that much, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, finding out that you are in fact superior to your own creator, man, that's quite a thing. All right, guys. You guys got anything else to add before we sign off?
Yeah, got to go see that end credits. I'm mad I missed it. I won't make that mistake again. I'll wait till the very end before I jump on.
How about you, Kim? Any last thoughts?
I'm looking forward to next week and this season. Probably going to have to go back, like Scott said, and just delve a little bit deeper and because the first season was pretty much, you could just watch it and say, oh yeah, it's a pretty cool show. Now the second season, they really want you to think a little bit.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now this is really, you got to get into the
definitely going to have to go back to watch the episode over again.
Yeah.
It's like they finally have the setups done. And it's like they made the first 2 seasons a prologue, and now here's the meat.
Mm-hmm.
Like they spent the first 2 seasons setting up what the hosts were, what their relationship was with the people in the park, how terrible it was, and then the second season they said now, they all pretty much have agency. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, oh nope, it wasn't a fluke for Dolores because Maeve developed it independently. So these are just, it was going to happen eventually. You run it long enough, they were going to get, they're just going to come to it. So. Season 3 sounds like it's the fate. You know what I mean? Like, will they find out that they are in real reality? And are humans like, it's almost like we are trying to go down a level into simulation and they're trying to come up a level into reality. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to occupy the same area.
Right.
So weird. All right. That's all I got right now. I'll stop with the stream of consciousness, and we'll move on. We'll see you guys later on.
All right.
All right, everybody.
See ya.
This was hand-stamped hosts because the hosts are out of the park. Stamp your hand. See you next week.
All right.